Hello, dear listener. This is M. Suleiman Enterprise. We are back again with the sequence status. And right now we will do statement number 4. So the statement starts by saying Moto 1 must be started before Moto 2 can be started. So this sentence number 1 is the one that we did from statement number 3, 2, and 1. So sentence number 2 says Moto 2 can now be stopped and started without affecting Moto 1. So also this sentence is the one that we did from statement number 3, 2, and 1. And then it says the emergency stop button must stop both motors at any time. Also this statement we did from statement number 3, 2, and 1. So we will continue from here where it says note Moto 1 cannot be stopped unless Moto 2 is stopped. If you can remember from the statement number 3, it said Moto 1 cannot be restarted unless Moto 2 is stopped. Right now it says Moto 1 cannot be stopped, which means you'll disturb the stop button of Moto 1. Only the stop button of Moto 1. Right? So we will draw the statement, we will draw the sketch until this sentence, until this full stop, because of the rest of the sentences upwards is the ones that we did from statement number 3, 2, and 1. So if you want to understand them better, please go and check statement number 3, 2, and 1. You'll know how we got here. Right, so we will draw the sketch for you until here, and we will continue with you from the last statement until it's full stop. Right, there is our sketch for statement number 4. But from sentence number 1 until sentence number 3, this full stop. So we will continue from the first statement, but firstly, we will operate these two calls with you and then proceed with only statement number 4. Right, let's operate them. Okay, I'll start by switching on my two 1M circuit breakers. So they'll create close contact here, close contact here. Right, so right now my life 1 and my life 2, they are now letting the current flow through the close contacts of 1M circuit breakers. Okay, let's firstly start with life 3, because it's the easiest to do. Right, from life 3, our current flows down to 1M circuit breaker, 1M circuit breaker, right, and finds it with close contact. My current will flow down all the way to life 3 of voltmeter and all the way to A2 of coil of motor 2 and A2 of coil of motor 1. And that is it about life 3 current. Right, from life 1, current will flow down and finds close contact of 1M circuit breaker and all the way to life 1 from the voltmeter, in which when the voltmeter has life 1 and life 3, it will give us a voltage of 400 volts, which means our supply voltage is for 3-phase. Right, also current will flow down to the close contact of overload 1 and close contact of overload 2, close contact of emergency stop, stop button of motor 1, and current will be stuck before the start button of motor 1 and also be stuck before the retainer of motor 1. And also current will flow all the way before the contact of motor 1 and all the way to the contact of motor 2, because we have normally open contacts, so current won't flow all the way. Right, since well my live current has stuck before the start button of motor 1, it simply means it allows us to press the start button. So since when the start button is a normal open contact, when we press it, it creates close contact. And when it creates close contact, live current from live 1 will flow down all the way to A1 of coil of motor 1. And then from A2 of coil of motor 1, it also has live 3, which means my coil will be energized. So we will write on. So it will be energized with the voltage of 400 volts. Right, since well my coil of motor 1 is energized, it will affect its contacts. Where is closed, it will be open. Where is open, it will be closed. So from here we have open contact, which means it will be affected and be closed. And also here we have open contact, it will be affected, which means it will be closed. So it will only affect the contacts of motor 1. Right. So since well my contacts are closed, I'm letting go of the start button of motor 1 after it has made its process. And then let's check what has happened to motor 1. Motor 1 is still running through the retainer because the retainer is closed. And then from this wire, current will now flow because of the close contact of motor 1. So it will flow all the way to the close contact, which is stop button of motor 2, and all the way to the start button of motor 2, and also the retainer of motor 2, in which we have open contact, so the current won't flow. So since well the current has stuck before the start button of motor 1, it simply means it allows us to press the start button of motor 2 so that it can create close contact. So we are pressing it and it creates close contact. And when it creates close contact, right now current will flow all the way to A1 of coil of motor 2. And from A2 of coil of motor 2, it will also have live 3, which means our coil will be on with the supply voltage of 400 volts. Since well our coil of motor 2 is energized, it will affect its contacts. Where it's open, it will be closed. Where it's closed, it will be open. So also here it will be closed. So I'm letting go of the start button of motor 2 and it creates open contact. Let's check after we have let go of the start button of motor 2, what will happen to the coil of motor 2. Coil of motor 2 will still be energized through the retainer of motor 2. Right. So we will continue from statement number 4, which says note motor 1 cannot be stopped unless motor 2 is stopped. So when they say motor 1 cannot be stopped, it simply means when we press the stop button of motor 1, it shouldn't stop motor 1 to de-energize. So when I press it here and it affects the coil of motor 1 to be off, it simply means the sketch is wrong. So we must help the sketch to correspond with the statement. So let's test the stop button of motor 1, because they say motor 1 cannot be stopped. Simply means you press the stop button of motor 1. So here's the stop button of motor 1. When we press it, since well it was closed, when we press it, it will be open. It will be open. And when it's open, everything after won't get the live current from live 1. Let's see when it's open, which means live current that will flow all the way to A1 will no longer flow because of stop button will create open contact. And from the statement it says motor 1 cannot be stopped, but it can only be stopped when motor 2 is stopped. But when we we test motor 1 first, it has stopped the coil of motor 1, which is not what we want. But we want to press the stop button of motor 1, and in which it shouldn't affect motor 1 to stop, but only affect motor 1 to stop when we stop motor 2 and stop motor 1 after. So right now, since really it has allowed us to stop motor 1 first, it simply means it's wrong before we can proceed further. So I'll erase it. So we must back up the stop button of motor 1 so that when we press it, and in which it will create open contact, it shouldn't cut the live current from live 1 to flow all the way to the coil. So it simply means when stop button of motor 1 creates open contact here and affects everything after, we must help the open contact that will be created when we press the stop button with a contact that will help the live current to still flow all the way to A1. So when we help the stop button, we must only help the stop button, but not the stop button and also other contacts and components. So we will check where it creates open contacts, which is here. So if it affects it here, if we can put a contact before the stop button and create an open contact or a close contact, it will still not help, because when we press here, it will still affect the live current to flow all the way to A1. Also, if you can put a contact after the stop button, it will still not help, because of when I press here, it will still open the live current from live 1. But if we must help this guy, if when the contact creates open contact, we must help it with a close contact that will still let the current to flow from live 1 all the way to A1 of coil of motor 1. So we will check where our current flows before the stop button. Our current flows from here until here, and also there before the stop button, because the stop button affects the current not to flow when we press it. So we must use the current before the stop button to help the current to still flow all the way to A1. So this is our current before the stop button of motor 1. So we will create a contact from this from where the current is before the stop button. So it's from this wire, because this wire is still the same wire. So we'll bridge it from here and create a contact here. The reason why we have created a close contact here is because of when we press the stop button, in which it will create open contact, the current will still flow through the close contact that we have added and all the way to the close contact of motor 1 and all the way to A1. So this contact has helped the stop button not to de-energize motor 1. So we are good from where it says motor 1 cannot be stopped. So when I press the stop button, motor 1 won't be energized. Motor 1 will still be motor 1 won't be de-energized. It will still be energized through the retainer of motor 1 and through the close contact that we have added all the way to live 1. So motor 1 is still running. So we press stop button of motor 1, it creates open contact. creates open contact. And when it creates open contact, live current from live 1 will still flow all the way to coil of motor 1. So it didn't affect coil of motor 1 to be de-energized. So I'm letting go of the stop button of motor 1. It creates close contact again. So we must know which contact is this one. Is this contact for motor 1 or motor 2? But if you can remember, we have taught you how to create a contact through the statement. Right. When it says motor 1 cannot be stopped, is the process that we have done, unless motor 2 is stopped. It simply says motor 1 cannot be stopped unless the contact of motor 2 is open. When it's open, it means when motor 2 is stopped, it will affect its contact, and the contact of this motor 2 will be open. So it simply says motor 1 cannot be stopped unless the contact of motor 2 is open. So which means this will be the contact of motor 2. Okay, right. We have created a close contact of motor 2 through the statement. So let's start by doing the process through the sketch. So when it says motor 1 cannot be stopped, let's check if motor 1 cannot be stopped, since here we have added our contacts and everything. So live current from live 1 will flow down and finds close contact here, flow all the way to coil of motor 1, and also flows all the way through the contact of motor 2, and also all the way to A1 coil of motor 1. Right, so our live current from live 1 flows from two different ways, through the stop button and through the contact of motor 2. Right, let's stop motor 1 and see if it can stop. Both motors are on. So I'm pressing the stop button of motor 1. It creates open contact. And when it creates open contacts, live current from live 1 won't flow through the stop button. So it will be stuck here when we press the stop button of motor 1. But let's check if when we press the stop button of motor 1, let's check if it has affected motor 1 to de-energize. So motor 1 will still keep on being energized through the contact of motor 2 normally closed, and all the way to A1 coil of motor 1. Right? So when we press the stop button of motor 2, it didn't affect motor 1 to stop. But they say motor 1 must be stopped when motor 2 is stopped. Motor 1 must only be stopped when motor 2 is stopped. Let's check if motor 1 will be stopped when motor 2 is stopped first. Right, I'm letting go of the stop button, in which means it will create a close contact again. Right, I'm testing the stop button of motor 2 if it will allow us to also press the stop button of motor 1 to de-energize its coil. Right, stop button of motor 2 is here. I'm pressing the stop button of motor 2. It creates open contact, and when it creates open contact, everything after the stop button of motor 2 won't get the live current from live 1, in which means the coil won't get the live current from live 1, because of we will have open contact here. So our live current from live 1 will be trapped here, and then the coil will be de-energized because it only gets live 3 but not live 1. So it will be off, and when coil of motor 2 is off, it will affect is contacts. Where is open, it will be closed, and where is closed, it will be open. So contact of motor 2 is 1, 2, and 3. Here is closed, which means right now it will be open. Here is closed, in which means right now it will be open. Here is closed, in which means right now it will also be open. Even here it will be open. So from the statement it said motor 1 cannot be stopped unless motor 2 is stopped. We have stopped motor 2, and let's check if right now, okay, let's firstly check if motor 1 is still running or not running. Right, for life 1 from the current from life 1 will flow down all the way to the stop button, and all the way to the retain of motor 1, and all the way to the coil of motor 1 from A1. And A2, it will also get life 3. So coil of motor 1 is still de-energized, is still energized, which means it's still on. So we are still good. But let's check if motor 1 right now can be off, since where we have stopped motor 2. This is the stop button of motor 1. So I'm pressing the stop button of motor 1. It creates open contact. Here. And when it creates open contact, everything after the stop button will not get the live current from life 1. So which means right now our coil of motor 1 from A1 won't get life 1, but will only get life 3. The reason why it won't get life 1 is because of after we have pressed the stop button, has created open contact, and right now our current from life 1, it is trapped here and here, which means it is no longer flowing all the way to the coil of motor 1, which means coil of motor 1 will now be off. I'm letting go of the start button of motor 1, of the stop button of motor 1. It creates close contact again, and since well motor 1, coil of motor 1 is off, it will affect its contacts. Here it will be open, here it will be open, here it will be open, and here it will be open. So which means right now our sentence is right, because of motor 1 didn't stop first, but it has stopped after we have stopped motor 2. So there is our statement, and then we are done with statement number 4. Right, so guys, please, always when we upload new videos, when you are new to our channel, please make sure you start with the first statement and taking them step by step. Don't jump any statement, because of the more you learn step by step, is the more you'll understand better. You'll understand everything and how we got here, because of in the next coming lessons, the things that we did back, we won't do it. We won't do them again for you, because of we already taught you there. So it's very important to learn these lessons step by step and not jump any lesson. Thank you for watching. Please keep on subscribing, liking, and commenting. Thank you very much for supporting me, supporting the channel, M. Suleiman Enterprise. Yeah, and there's our day.